Dragon Ball Apprentice Angel Chapter 1-20. Chapter 1 full level at the start. I-737. The Seventh Universe, Planet Vegeta. As the sun went down, Roger looked up at the red sky and fell silent. Roger, you are being too careless. Behind him, the 5-year-old little Prince Vegeta laughed wildly. Vegeta is wearing battle armor, a red cloak swaying in the wind, and a fluffy tail rippling behind him. Afterburner. Vegeta shouted, and energy flames emerged in her hands. The energy flames roared in the direction of Roger, with endless momentum. Roger turned slightly sideways. Hey! The afterburner grazes Roger's body. Vegeta took the opportunity to rush in. Bang! Roger slapped it. With a muffled sound, Vegeta was photographed directly into the ground, with only half of her head exposed. Damn it! Vegeta bared her teeth and crawled out of the ground, patted the dust on her body, panting heavily. Roger ignored it, still looking up at the sky. Hey, Roger, one day, Vegeta, will beat you. Vegeta clenched her fists and trembled slightly. Don't target me. Roger glanced at Vegeta. Vegeta froze for a moment, as if asking why. You will despair, said Roger. Vegeta stopped talking, feeling 10,000 points of damage. There was silence for a moment. Hey, Roger, how did you cultivate? Vegeta looked up at Roger and asked curiously. Roger still looked up at the sky, ignoring Vegeta. Roger, when I become the king of planet Vegeta, I will make you the great general of the Saiyans, under one person, over 10,000 people. It's as beautiful as possible. Vegeta's immature face said, somewhat looking forward to. Also, why do I feel that my combat power has surpassed that of my father? Roger didn't say a word, a little sigh in his heart. Even a little helpless. 2 years. There are still 9,800 points of angel power, when will it be exhausted? No one has this speed. Also. Soon. Less than 23 hours. This planet will be destroyed. The planet and all people on the planet will become the dust of the universe. Yes, Roger crossed. Roger did not transmigrate into a Saiyan or a human with the power of a god of destruction, but transmigrated into a divine fruit on the tree of angels. Shengguo doesn't know how long it has been bred. I'm afraid it's been 100,000 years, long enough for Roger to forget his past life before he traveled. Roger was finally born, and the name was still Roger. Roger originally thought that his name would transcend into One Piece. Roger is a little angel. Angels grow quickly after being born, and they can become adults in a blink of an eye. When Roger was a god fruit, he knew that he had actually crossed into the world of Dragon Ball, and he was also an angel of the world of Dragon Ball. For this reason, Roger felt a little excited. Angel. This is beyond the existence of the god of destruction. In this universe, in addition to King Quan and the Great Priest, the highest-ranking angels are the angels. It's just that an angel who has just grown up needs to go to the human world for an internship. Every born angel has a certain amount of angel power, some more, some less. Roger's angel power is 10,000 points, which is 10 times higher than that of another angel. At the beginning, Roger still had a little bit of joy in his heart. My angel's power is the highest, isn't it the most powerful? Yes, it is indeed very powerful, and it is so powerful that it is boundless. As long as more than 1,000 points of angelic power are used, the entire universe, no, the 12 universes today will disappear. And Roger will also be counterattacked by the powerful angel power, and his soul will be destroyed. Therefore, Roger needs to go to the human world to experience. Only by depleting all 10,000 points of angelic power, can he complete the true transformation and grow into an archangel of the god realm, ignoring the faith that all the angelic power will disappear, and have eternal life, immortal and immortal. The archangel is also an extremely powerful existence in this universe. Even, the strength is comparable to that of a great priest. So, how to consume these 10,000 points of angel power? Consuming the power of angels is not as simple as a crazy explosion of the power of angels, so even if it is consumed, it will slowly grow back. Moreover, the explosion cannot exceed 1,000 points of angelic power, so Roger will be backlashed, causing the soul to be destroyed. What if all the power of the angels exploded? Don't think about it. Don't have this crazy idea. 1,000 points of backlash will be destroyed, not to mention 10 times the power of an angel. Since the power of angels cannot be exploded, how to consume the power of angels? According to the instructions of the High Priest, Roger needs to experience in the human world. As for how to experience it, figure it out for yourself. Saying too much, but it has no effect. Anyway, if you want to kill yourself and explode all the power of angels, no one will stop you. The big deal is that the entire universe is destroyed, and it is time to use the great time and space to restore it. But, you're done. You are a genius, remember in a second. Chapter 2 Return of Bardock. Ordinary apprentice angels, as long as all the angelic powers are exhausted, will turn into real angels. And Roger's angel power is too much, and it is exhausted, and he wants to inherit the god position of the archangel. Archangel, one more step of evolution, he is full of God. All God is the ruler of the entire universe, and his status surpasses that of all kings. Roger remembered that Mel's was a trainee angel in Dragon Ball Super. He chose the Galaxy Patrol headquarters for training, but he went astray. He went to train Sun Wukong because of the Mora incident, and he wanted to fight Sun Wukong with all his strength. Took him away. Could it be that you go to the human world to understand good and evil? As for Myers, Roger had really seen him on the angel tree, but Myers was 2 years younger than him. When Roger became an adult, he chose planet Vegeta, transformed into a Saiyan, and came to this planet to experience. Since you have traveled to the Dragon Ball world, why do you have to visit the Saiyan planet? For the past 2 years, Roger has been on planet Vegeta, acting as a Saiyan. To Roger's impression, Saiyans are indeed cruel. In other words, the concept of respecting the strong is more accurate. Saiyans can kill people they don't like without any scruples. This is the case for the Saiyan clan, and even more unscrupulous for foreigners. Through these years of contact with Saiyans, Roger has only consumed 200 points of angel power. Thinking that he still has 9,800 points of angel power, Roger felt tired for a while. It's long enough. However, recently Roger began to try to cultivate Vegeta, but found that the speed of the consumption of angel power has accelerated a lot. It's only been a few days, and it's already consumed 10 o'clock. In the past, it was almost an average of less than 10 points per month. Roger wondered, should we work on this? As for why Vegeta followed Roger, it was also because Roger and Bardock fought 2 years ago and broke out a bit of strength and easily won the victory. After that, the 3-year-old Vegeta followed behind him all day, playing sneak attacks from time to time, but he was actually a little follower of his own. Looking at the distant sky, Roger knew that in less than 23 hours, Frieza would destroy planet Vegeta himself. Just a month and a half ago, Roger sensed the breath of Beerus, who came to planet Vegeta. Of course, Beerus didn't sense Roger's presence. Roger was so powerful that Beerus couldn't sense it. After Beerus left, Frieza got busy, issuing orders to recall the Saiyans who were on missions in the field. Frieza is finally about to shoot. It seems that the fate with Vegeta has basically come to an end. Hey, Roger, what are you thinking? Vegeta also looked up at the sky and couldn't help asking. Vegeta, you and I are also destined. Your combat effectiveness has been greatly improved recently. Unfortunately, there is not much time left for you. Go, the farther you go, the better. Roger looked into the distance. Where to? Vegeta scratched her head. Leave planet Vegeta now, Roger said. Why? Vegeta wondered. Go away. Roger kicked and kicked Vegeta. If you let you go, how can there be so many why? Roger no longer paid attention to Vegeta, but slowly returned to his village. Roger wasn't going to save the planet himself, it wasn't necessary. Destroying the planet, that's Beerus' job. Roger knew very well that Beerus was lazy and gave Frieza the job. Roger is an angel, and it is impossible for an angel to confine his eyes to a small planet. Moreover, Roger went to the human world just for experience, and even if he saved planet Vegeta, he would not consume his angelic power. Unable to consume the power of angels, Roger is unwilling to do it. Roger once tried to save a planet that was captured by Frieza, but instead of consuming 1 point of angelic power, he added 3 points. It seems that if some things are deliberately changed, the power of angels will not decrease but increase. Roger is back. Many Saiyans know Roger, because Roger is currently a very good warrior on planet Vegeta. Roger smiled and nodded. By the way, Bardock has also returned from outside. Bardock has been fighting outside these years. I heard that his combat effectiveness has improved a lot. A Saiyan said to Roger, "Remember Roger, you were not 2 years ago. Have you beaten Bardock? I don't know if he is still his opponent now." Roger smiled and didn't answer the boring question. Even if Bardock were to practice for hundreds of thousands of years or even tens of thousands of years, he would not be his opponent. As he was talking, Roger glanced at him and saw Bardock fly over from a distance and landed directly opposite him. "Roger," Bardock said with fighting intent. "Anything." Roger's expression was flat. "You are a genius, remember in a second." Chapter 3 Kakarot's spaceship. 2 years ago, I lost to you, this time I will beat you no matter what. Bardock clenched his fists. "Then come on." Roger smiled. "But don't worry, even if the challenge is not now. I seem to have seen Frieza's spaceship on the way back. His spaceship appeared and wandered near planet Vegeta. I'm afraid it has ulterior motives." Bardock, his face was not very good looking. "Roger, you have been on planet Vegeta for the past 2 years, you should know more, right?" "You can tell me what you think," Roger replied. "I heard that Frieza was inquiring about Super Saiyans and the Super Saiyan God. I always feel a bad premonition," Bardock said solemnly. "Frieza is worried that a Super Saiyan will be born among the Saiyans, and he plans to exterminate the Saiyans." Roger pondered. "What did you say?" Bardock's face was moved, looking at the Saiyans who kept returning, and thinking of Roger's words, his expression became more and more serious. "Looks like it's time to act sooner." That night, Roger saw that Bardock secretly went to the spaceship launch base while taking advantage of the darkness. It didn't take long for Bardock to return with a miniature spaceship. And Bardock's wife is looking forward to it in a valley. "Speaking of which, you're actually worried about your own child, it's not like a Saiyan," Giant said with a smile. "Perhaps it was infected by your innocence." Bardock was expressionless and walked forward with a mini spaceship on his back. Wow 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 wow. Inside the spaceship, Kakarot's cry was heard. "Kakarot, don't make trouble," Giant said softly, then looked at Bardock. "If it's really as Bardock said, Frieza will do something to us Saiyans, why don't we go together?" "Run away. It's useless, the probe will find our location soon." Bardock shook his head and put down the spacecraft. "The program is set to go to a distant planet called Earth. Although there is plenty of food on it, there are no resources." "What value, so it is an inconspicuous planet." Quote. "If it's just Bardock, we'll pick you up soon." Giant nodded and said softly to Kakarot in the spaceship. "Remember, don't stare at the full moon for a long time." Bardock also told Kakarot. "I'll tell Raditz about this too." Giant looked at Kakarot in the spaceship tenderly. "You must survive." Bardock waved. "Goodbye." Giant held back her tears. Kakarot, who was only 3 years old, clasped his hands on the transparent window, and his immature face was full of confusion. "Mom and Dad don't want me. Why? Am I disobedient? Hey." Just as the mini spaceship was about to start, a light blue flame suddenly came at high speed. Crack! Light blue flames bombarded the miniature spaceship directly. The mini spaceship trembled slightly. "Hey! The next moment, the spaceship broke through the void, quickly flew into the sky, and disappeared into the night sky in a flash. Bardock and Giant's faces changed color, and their pupils shrank together. What is that blue flame just now? The spaceship won't explode, will it? Phew, Bardock shouted angrily. Giant was also vigilant and looked around. Roger slowly floated in the air and emerged. Roger, what did you do to Kakarot? Bardock asked. If it wasn't for Giant, he would have even tried to go up. Gine is more rational, she has to ask clearly before talking about it. It's nothing, it's just hiding his breath so that Frieza can't find him through the detector. Roger smiled. What made Roger happy was that he had just given Kakarot a barrier to hide his breath, but he actually consumed 10 points of his angelic power. Do you say? Roger seemed to realize something. Hidden breath. Gine looked confused. Although Kakarot's combat power is only 2, it can still be detected, and the timing of your sending off is not right. Frieza may destroy the spaceship that escaped to Earth in a single thought. Roger said. You know, Bardock's face became gloomy. Only he and his wife Giant knew about sending Kakarot to Earth. Of course, Bardock would also tell his other son Raditz, but he would never let an outsider know. Then, go to hell. Bardock's face became more and more gloomy. Boom. Bardock hardly hesitated, and suddenly a huge energy flame emerged from his hands, which swallowed Roger inside at that time. You are a genius, remember in a second. Chapter 4 _ Bardock's full blow. Hoo. Bardock gasped heavily. Bardock, what are you doing? Giant asked quickly. Kakarot's trip to Earth, apart from me, you and Raditz, must not be known to outsiders. Otherwise, Kakarot's life may be in danger. Bardock clenched his fists, the sweat slipped. But, Bardock, Roger clearly helped us just now. Giant looked up at Bardock. Gene, you are too naive. How could the blue flame he shoots hide any aura? Maybe it's a tracking skill. Bardock said with a dark face, I have been fighting outside for the past 2 years. I have seen too many conspiracies. Kakarot's combat power is too low, I can't let Kakarot be killed before he is an adult. Roger is the captain of the guard. He just died. Giant was a little worried. Don't worry, it's deserted here, no one knows about it. Bardock lowered his voice. Then let's get out of here. Gine urged. Kill others without hesitation for the sake of your own son. This is really the way of the Saiyans. At this moment, Roger's voice came from not far away. Hearing Roger's voice, Bardock's pupils shrank sharply, the corners of his mouth twitched, and his face was extremely ugly. Immediately afterwards, Bardock saw Roger coming step by step from a distance. He is so powerful. Giant looked stunned. That was Bardock's full blow just now, wasn't it? Gene, get out of here immediately. Bardock stepped forward and blocked Gine. The power of angels is really exhausted. Roger groaned in a low voice, a little surprise on his face. Whoa! Bardock roared and charged towards Roger's direction, punching out of the air, heading straight for Roger's face. Crack! Roger stretched out a finger and lightly blocked Bardock's fist. Bardock was dumbfounded. Bardock knew that Roger was powerful, but he never thought that he would be so powerful. Bardock remembered that when he fought Roger 2 years ago, Roger was not so strong. He just blocked Bardock's fist with just one finger. Bardock, you still want to challenge me at your level. Also, I kindly did you a favor, but you want to kill me. Roger looked flat, and squinted at Bardock. If replace it with any Saiyan on planet Vegeta, and he's dead just now. Bardock's face became extremely ugly. He never thought that Roger was so much stronger than himself. Bang! Roger slapped it. With a muffled sound, Bardock was slapped into the ground by Roger's slap, with only one head exposed. Bardock! Giant exclaimed. Next, is that you? Giant. Roger looked at Giant with a smile. Roger. This has nothing to do with Giant. I attacked you. Kill me. Please let her go, Bardock said loudly. Oh, You're right. Roger smiled and looked away. Go, go, get out of here, Bardock shouted at Jine. Bardock, didn't you say it? Frieza may kill all the Saiyans. What's the difference between dying one day earlier and one day later? Even if I die, I will be with you. Jine he smiled, suddenly showing a look of resignation. Bardock didn't say anything and looked at his wife silently. Why did you kill you? I never kill you. Roger smiled slightly, then looked at Bardock with interest. However, there is no escape. I want to exile you. What did you say? Bardock was stunned. Exile you, this is your punishment. I hope you will use your brain more before doing things in the future. Roger held his chin and looked at Bardock. Hey. After Roger's voice fell, it turned into a colorful streamer, broke through the void, and fled into the starry sky in a flash. Bardock was stunned. Jine was stunned. Why is it gone? What about people? A brief silence. Jine quickly pulled Bardock out of the ground. He, who the hell is he? Jine's beautiful eyes widened, her expression stunned. Bardock was also completely dumbfounded. How did Roger fly into the sky? What is the colorful flame on Roger's body? The seventh universe, the realm of kings and gods. Kaiwanjin-sama, Frieza seems to be calling the Saiyans back to planet Vegeta. I'm afraid he is going to shoot the Saiyans. Jabit looked away, facing the Kaiwang Shinto. Are we going to stop it? The Saiyans are not good people either, just let them be. The king of the realm Xian looked grim. You are a genius, remember in a second. Chapter 5_Kaiwang Shen, where is my space-time ring? By the way, Lord Kaiwangshen, 5 million years have passed, Majin Buu is in the seal, will he die directly? Jabit changed the subject and said with a smile. It's not very likely to die. But he doesn't even want to run out. Kaiyan, the god of the world, put his hands on his back and pondered slightly. Just in case, Jabit, go to the seal and see the human beings on Earth. Don't let Buu escape by accidentally touching the seal. Of course, this possibility is very remote, so be careful. Yes, Jabit nodded. However, just as Jabit was about to set off for Earth, a colorful flame suddenly came towards him in the distance. Lord Kaiwangshen, what is that? Jabit was stunned. The Realm King God also saw the colorful flames coming from the sky, and his face changed slightly for a while. Hey! The colorful flames swept past Kaiwangshen, passed through the void again, and disappeared without a trace in a flash. What's the situation? Kaiyan, the god of the realm, was dumbfounded. Jabit was also stunned, looking at the 7 colored flames that had disappeared. The two were silent. That colorful flame, what is it? Why did it disappear in a flash? What exactly happened? The Realm King said solemnly, can't even I see that colorful flame? It feels like a very powerful divine force. Jabit groaned in a low voice. What? Powerful divine power? Who is it? Kaiwangshen's face changed color. Jabit shook his head blankly. After a brief silence. I always feel like something is missing. Xian scratched his head, confused. The vast starry sky. Roger turned into a colorful flame and flew away in the direction of planet Vegeta. In Roger's hand, there is an extra ring. Roger put the ring on the index finger of his left hand, and the corner of his mouth raised a shallow arc. At this time, Frieza's spaceship was slowly revolving around the outer periphery of planet Vegeta. Lord Frieza, according to statistics, at present, except for a few Saiyans, almost all Saiyans have returned to planet Vegeta. A subordinate reported. Oh ha ha ha, it's getting more and more interesting, I've been waiting for this day for a long time. Frieza smiled, ha ha ha, these wild monkeys are finally about to go extinct. HMPH, in the end, Super Saiyans and Super Saiyans, the Saiyan god is just a legend. Lord Frieza, something seemed to disappear just now. At this time, a younger brother suddenly exclaimed. Frieza gave him a sideways glance. What would it be? Sabo asked with a smile. The younger brother hastened to operate on the computer. As a result, Nothing. Hey. The bright red flame in Frieza's hand flashed, directly penetrating the younger brother's heart. HMPH, my Frieza hates shouting subordinates the most. Frieza said coldly. Several other subordinates hurriedly knelt on the ground, trembling with fear. We will soon enjoy the wonderful fireworks of Planet Vegeta. Frieza walked to the window and muttered with a smile. However, after Frieza's voice fell, in a glance, he saw the direction of Planet Vegeta, and a colorful flame fell. Frieza was stunned, thoughtful. However, Frieza didn't think much of it. The universe is unpredictable, let alone colorful flames, there are flames of any color. Roger went fast and came back fast. The only difference is that Roger has an extra ring in his hand. The space-time ring of Kaiwang God. Crack. Roger tapped the Bardock's door lightly with his fingers. Suddenly, the door was opened directly by Roger. Roger. Bardock's face changed constantly. Bardock, I kindly help you, so that your son can land on Earth smoothly, but you are revenge for your kindness, so I want to exile you. Roger said. Exile me, Bardock heard Roger say just now. However, what made Bardock puzzled was that after Roger finished speaking, he turned into a colorful flame and disappeared without a trace. Bardock and Jine had to go home uneasy. It's just that, less than 20 minutes after he came back, Roger left and returned. Roger, if Frieza has already planned to attack the Saiyans as you said, do you think you can still exile me? Bardock smiled lightly. Roger smiled and put his hand on Bardock's shoulder. At the same time, Roger's thumb gently turned the space-time ring on his index finger. Huh. The next moment, the two disappeared under Jine's gaze. Jine's eyes widened. What about people? Why is it gone? Why does it disappear? Bardock, Jine shouted loudly. However, Bardock could not hear. You are a genius, remember in a second. Chapter 6_Sun Wukong's Vitality Bomb. When Bardock opened his eyes and reacted, he was stunned. Bardock suddenly discovered that he actually appeared in the vast starry sky. Bardock looked around carefully, and saw that both himself and Roger were covered with a layer of light flames. Bardock quickly reacted. It was this faint flame that might allow him to survive in this space without a bit of air, right? What is this place? Am I in a dream? Bardock was stunned. Planet Vegeta in 25 years. Roger's expression was flat. It has become the dust of the universe. What did you say? 25 years later. Bardock's eyes widened. Go. Roger smiled slightly, grabbed Bardock, turned into a colorful flame, and drew a beautiful arc in the starry sky. You. Who are you? Bardock didn't even mention how surprised he was. Roger ignored it, and the colorful flames around him became more and more intense. Bardock's face changed constantly, and his heart became even more confused. Here, is it really 25 years later? Or did Roger deliberately fool himself? Only, what shocked Bardock the most was why Roger could survive in space. Saiyans, can't they survive in space? Just when Bardock felt at a loss, he suddenly saw a huge planet appear in his sight. What is that? Bardock asked in confusion. Hey! Roger took Bardock and appeared right above the planet in a flash. This planet has 3 suns. Roger, why did you bring me here? You're going to exile me on this planet. Bardock was a little confused about the situation. Roger laughed silently. Huh, there are people below. Bardock suddenly found that there seemed to be several people below him. These people are fighting. Roger slowly fell, and he fell to a position where Bardock could see, and then stopped. Bardock's vision gradually enlarged. On the light blue ground below, 5 people are fighting. 4-1. Who is that person? Bardock saw at a glance a person who looked very similar to himself. This person was wearing dark blue clothes, and the clothes were tattered. Bardock subconsciously pressed the detector, trying to detect their combat power. Bang! Just as Bardock pressed the button on the detector made a muffled sound and exploded on the spot. What? How is that possible? Bardock could not mention how shocked he was. The explosion of the detector can only explain one problem. That is, the combat power of the opponent has exceeded the detection range of the detector. Then, what is that? Is it also the sun? Bardock soon discovered a huge mass of energy, which was also suspended in the air. Above that mass of energy, it gave people an endless sense of fear. Too terrifying. Is that thing really energy? That's called Yuanqi bomb. Roger smiled. What do you mean? What vitality bomb? Bardock asked in surprise. All living beings have vitality. Gather their vitality and condense them together to form vitality bombs. Roger introduced lightly. Bardock widened his eyes and looked at Roger. There are only 5 of them alive on this planet. Such a big vitality bomb should have collected vitality from nearby planets. Roger smiled. Who's that guy with the long tail? Who? It's a bit like Frieza. Bardock asked. Roger laughed silently. Below. Frieza, the last vitality bomb. Sun Wukong slammed down the condensed vitality bomb in the direction of Frieza. Not good. Frieza's pupils shrank, and her face became extremely ugly. Boom. The vitality bomb took Frieza and rolled down towards the ground, with endless momentum, as if there was a hole in the sky. With an earth-shattering loud noise, the vitality bomb smashed into the ground of Namek. The whole earth was shaking violently, and the clouds were blown away by this endless energy. Even Bardock in the sky was blown away by this powerful energy. Roger released a mass of energy at will, which stabilized Bardock's body. Wait until everything calms down. Bardock took a closer look and found out that a bottomless pit appeared on the ground. Around the big pit, endless rivers emerged and merged into the dark hole. What a terrible energy! Bardock's eyes widened, shocked. Who is he? Why does he look so much like me? He just called that person Frieza. Roger was too lazy to answer the question. I believe that no matter who it is difficult to understand when encountering such a strange thing as traveling through time and space. P.S. New book, ask for a reward. In special times, reward 1 person plus 1 chapter. You are a genius, remember in a second. Chapter 7_Bardock. Who is that guy who looks exactly like me? Is that Frieza dead? Bardock asked again. No, Roger said indifferently. Bardock looked around, and sure enough, he saw Frieza standing on a hill. Frieza already had a broken tail, and his left eye was also injured. He was looking at Sun Wukong and the others with a gloomy expression. It's just that Sun Wukong and others don't know it at all. I saw that Piccolo was holding Sun Wukong, while Keelan and Sun Wuhan stepped forward to support Piccolo and Monkey King. In the battle just now, Sun Wukong and Piccolo consumed too much energy, and now they have almost no strength. Rao is so, all 4 of them had triumphant smiles on their faces. It's really Frieza. Why is it different from the Frieza I saw? Forget it, no matter how much, didn't they find out that Frieza is still alive? Bardock's face kept changing variety. Immediately after. Hey, Frieza is still alive. Bardock shouted. However, Sun Wukong and the others below did not hear Bardock's words, and still said something with a smile. Why, can't they hear? Bardock asked, looking at Roger. I set up a barrier, your voice can't pass through. Roger smiled. What did you say? Bardock was stunned. But then, Bardock suddenly released a mass of energy from his hand, and greeted Frieza below him fiercely. PFF'd. The powerful energy released by Bardock disappeared on the spot after encountering the barrier set up by Roger, and even the sound was not passed on. Below. On my spaceship, it only takes 7 days to return to Earth. Sun Wukong said with a smile. Ah, Krillin exclaimed. Monkey King, Sun Gohan and Piccolo were all taken aback. Haha, I suddenly remembered that we almost forgot Miss Bulma. Klein touched his bald head and said with a smile. You scared me to death, Krillin, I thought Frieza was alive again. Sun Wukong smiled bitterly. In some cases, Miss Bulma is more terrifying than Frieza. Krillin joked. Ha ha ha, yes. Sun Wukong nodded. Elder, you can finally rest in peace. Piccolo let out a long sigh. Huh, Piccolo, how do you know about the Great Elder? Klein turned his head and glanced at Piccolo. Immediately afterwards, Kailin's pupils turned white, the corners of his mouth twitched, his body trembled violently, and his face was like a blank sheet of paper. Kailin, what's wrong with you? Sun Wukong quickly asked when he realized that something was not right. Wukong, he. Krillin pointed in the direction of Frieza tremblingly, so frightened that he couldn't say anything. Sun Wukong turned his head to look, terrified. Hey! Just then, a bright red flame flashed on Frieza's finger. PFF'd. The bright red flame, like a laser, penetrated Piccolo's heart on the spot. Before Piccolo could even react, he fainted on the spot and fell to the ground. Vic! Sun Wukong exclaimed. Do you really think that I, Frieza, will be killed by your low-level creatures? You are so wrong. I, Frieza, will not die. Frieza snorted, his face was terrifyingly gloomy. Krillin, Gohan, take Pick and Bulma out of this planet immediately. Sun Wukong said solemnly. Kailin and Son Gohan were shivering with fright, completely out of ideas. Above the sky. They're going to be killed. Bardock sighed. It would be horrible if that guy was really Frieza. Roger did not speak. HMPH, don't even try to run away today. Frieza sneered, the one who died just now was the Namekian, right? The next one will be the Earthling. As Frieza said that, a red dot in his index finger flashed and hit Krillin directly. Huh. Frieza controlled Krillin's body and flew high into the sky. Frieza, what are you doing? Sun Wukong shouted loudly. Hey, I said, you all have to die. Frieza smiled. Let him go, Sun Wukong said angrily. HMPH. Frieza's smile grew even brighter, her raised right hand clenched slightly. Goku, Krillin shouted loudly. Bang! The next moment, Kailin's body turned into a cloud of blood and exploded on the spot. Sun Wukong's eyes turned white, and his pupils shrunk into a black spot. HMPH, the next one is the little Saiyan. Frieza smiled. Saiyan, is that kid a Saiyan? Bardock was a little surprised. Boom! At this moment, the sky suddenly turned gloomy. Immediately afterwards, a golden lightning fell from the sky and hit Sun Wukong's head on the spot. You are a genius, remember in a second. Chapter 8_Spooky Resurrection. What's the situation? Bardock looked at this strange scene in surprise. Boom! The next moment, another golden lightning fell from the sky. Huh! In Roger's right hand, a scepter suddenly appeared. There was a flash of light on the scepter. Crack! Near Sun Wukong, a bald head appeared out of thin air. Huh, me, I'm obviously dead. Kailin scratched his head vigorously, his expression a little dull. Didn't I get killed by Frieza? How did this happen? Why is it resurrected again? Kailin. Sun Wukong was surprised and delighted. At the same time, the golden lightning in the sky gradually extinguished. In addition, Sun Wukong's hair, which had been standing upside down, fell slowly. Super Saiyan, failed to transform. Frieza looked even more stunned, looking at Krillin who had returned from the dead with a look of horror, and was completely stunned for a while. What's the matter? That bald head, isn't he dead? Bardock looked at the strange change below in surprise, and then glanced at the scepter in Roger's hand. What is that scepter? So amazing. Roger silently felt his angelic power. Sure enough, as Roger expected, there was no consumption, but an improvement. At this moment, Roger understood. What is the responsibility of the angels? Angels are the masters of God of Destruction. If God of Destruction does something wrong, angels can make corrections to God of Destruction in time. Kaio God and God of Destruction complement each other. Kaiwang God is also called the Creator God, responsible for creating planets and maintaining the balance of the universe. So what does God of Destruction do? God of Destruction maintains the balance of the universe by destroying planets. The resources of the universe are limited, and the more planets created by the Kaiwang God, the resources will be lacking. The God of Destruction needs to destroy these planets and maintain the balance of resources. However, blindly destroying and destroying too much will result in a waste of resources. If the destruction is too much, even Kaiwang Shen has no time to create a new planet, and can only be corrected by angels. The root of all this, there are only 4 words, the balance of the universe. That's right, maintaining the balance of the universe. Just like just now, Roger resurrected Krillin and prevented Sun Wukong from becoming a Super Saiyan, and the universe would lose its balance. Why? Roger, who is familiar with the Dragon Ball plot, knows that if Sun Wukong dies, then the Earth will be finished. With Frieza's behavior, he might destroy the Earth. If the Earth is destroyed, who will be born? That's right, the sealed Majin Buu will come out. Kaiyan, the god of the king, will stop Buu, and it is estimated that he will be absorbed if he is not killed. Then, the god of destruction Beerus farts in his sleep. At that time, even the Angel Whis will no longer be able to restore the balance of the universe. Since then, the 7th universe has been a mess. In the end, King Quan had no choice but to take action himself to erase this universe that had lost its balance. Therefore, Roger guessed that the main task of his own experience was to understand the various emotions in the world on the basis of maintaining the balance of the universe. Give it a try. Whether it is true or not will soon have an answer. Roger put his hand on the shoulder of Bardock, who was still in shock, and disappeared in place in a flash. Perhaps, the answer can be further confirmed in Bardock. With Bardock, Roger returned to his own era. Hey! Roger turned into a colorful flame and flew away in the direction of planet Vegeta. Hey, Roger, what happened just now? Who are they? Is it really Frieza? Bardock finally couldn't help himself and asked curiously. Yes, that's Frieza. Roger nodded. So, who is the guy who fought Frieza? The guy who looks a lot like me. Bardock asked again. How old is Kakarot this year? Roger changed the subject. 3 years old, why do you ask this? Bardock frowned. I wonder if you noticed the identity of that bald head. Roger smiled. Bald head, Frieza said. He's an Earthling. Bardock suddenly remembered. Well, yes, Earthling. Roger nodded. Earthman, didn't I send Kakarot to Earth? Bardock pondered. How can the Earthman be so powerful? I can see that the strength of the bald head just now should almost surpass me. There was silence for a moment. Bardock suddenly thought of something. You said before. That's 25 years later. Bardock's eyes widened. Roger smiled mysteriously. You mean, the person they call Sun Wukong is Kakarot? Bardock seemed to realize something. Roger laughed silently. Impossible. How could Sun Wukong be Kakarot? Bardock shook his head, looking at Roger and said, also, what 25 years ago was pure nonsense. You are a genius, remember in a second. Chapter 9_Planet Vegeta is going to be destroyed. Fly. Bardock took a closer look and found out that there was a planet in front of him that he was familiar with and could no longer be familiar with. However, outside the planet, there is a Frieza spaceship hovering near the planet. On Frieza's spaceship, the younger brothers of Frieza's Legion filed out. Immediately afterwards, the boys gave way, and Frieza took the aircraft and slowly flew out of the spaceship. Wow, Kaka! Frieza burst out laughing. In an instant, Frieza's hand also condensed a huge red energy. The red energy rises when it sees the wind. In the blink of an eye, the energy bomb expanded to hundreds of meters in diameter. It's Frieza. What does he want? Bardock was startled and angry. Look, Frieza is going to destroy planet Vegeta. Are you going to say goodbye to your wife? Or are you going to beat Frieza with all your strength? Roger said, the flame in his hand suddenly covered to Bardock. Immediately, Bardock's injury was completely healed, and his energy returned to its peak state. At the same time, the potential energy in Bardock was also guided by Roger. What's going on? Who are you? Bardock looked at Roger in shock. Go ahead, I hope you won't regret it. Roger showed a weird smile. My energy has become so powerful. Bardock was surprised and delighted. The next moment, Bardock almost without the slightest hesitation, rushed towards Frieza's direction. Frieza, I'm going to kill you. Bardock couldn't even mention how confident he was. Looking at Bardock rushing towards him, Dodoria and Sabo who were beside Frieza were slightly taken aback. Looking for death, Dodoria roared and took a step forward to resist Bardock. Bang! Bardock's fist burst out of the air, and a punch hit Dodoria's head. PFF'd. Dodoria was knocked out of a tooth at that time, and a blood spurted out of his mouth. What? Sabo was surprised. Oh, Frieza glanced at Bardock. Frieza, go to hell. Bardock immediately rushed in the direction of Frieza after knocking down Dodoria with one punch. At the same time, energy emerged in Bardock's hands. A huge amount of energy blasted away in the direction of Frieza. HMPH, little trick. Frieza slapped her left hand with a look of disdain. Bang! The energy from Bardock's bombardment was slapped by Frieza's slap and changed its direction, drawing an arc in the starry sky and flying into the distance. What? Bardock's eyes widened. Just as Bardock was shocked, he had gotten close to Frieza. Bang! Frieza didn't even get up, but still sat on the aircraft, punched lightly, and directly bombarded it. With a muffled sound, the punch hit Bardock in the face on the spot. Bardock flew backwards. HMPH, stupid wild monkey, disappear with planet Vegeta. Frieza sneered. At the same time, Frieza's right index finger had finally reached a certain level of the planet-destroying bullet that had condensed. Hey! Frieza waved. The red planet destruction bomb, with endless black lightning, slammed down towards the direction of Bardock, towards the planet Vegeta behind Bardock. It's impossible, Bardock shouted. In an instant, Bardock's body had come into contact with Frieza's planet-destroying bomb. Jine. Bardock clearly felt that his vitality was rapidly draining, and he couldn't help calling his wife's name. However, Jine couldn't hear it anymore. Bang! But Bardock felt dark in front of his eyes, and the whole person seemed to have lost consciousness. At this moment, Bardock regretted it too much. Frieza is so strong. Why don't I go to see my wife one last time? Not knowing how long it took, Bardock suddenly opened his eyes. Bardock looked around and found himself in a stone room. Am I in hell? Or, I'm still alive? Bardock looked around uncertainly, with a confused look on his face. Immediately afterwards, Bardock felt his body. It seems that there is no discomfort. The physical injury is only a scar on the forearm. How is this going? Here, where is it? Bardock glanced outside through the window. It looks like planet Vegeta here. What's going on? Bardock was a little stunned after seeing the scenery outside in the red sky. Are you awake? At this moment, Bardock suddenly heard an unfamiliar voice from behind him. You are a genius, remember in a second. Chapter 10 _ This is 1000 years ago. Bardock took a closer look and saw two aliens, one tall and one short. The skin of these two people was lavender, and they looked strange. They had big purple oval heads with two antenna-like eyeballs standing on top of their heads. I've never seen this kind of race. Bardock looked wary. Haha, don't be so vigilant, I am the doctor of this village, my name is Abana, and he is my son Bailey. The tall foreigner greeted with a smile, showing a friendly expression on his face. We found that when you were there, you fell in that great forest in the distance, and it was Bailey who brought you back. This is the healing potion on Planet Plant. Saying that, Abana picked up Bardock's arm and poured the healing potion on Bardock's injured forearm. Bardock was taken aback. This thing is very much like the therapeutic liquid in the therapeutic apparatus. And Planet Plant. Isn't that the earliest name of planet Vegeta? A flash of inspiration flashed in Bardock's mind, and he suddenly thought of something. Don't tell me, I went back to the past. I traveled through time and space. Bardock muttered to himself. Immediately afterwards, Bardock came back to his senses. Roger, where are you? Come out. Bardock flew out of the window, suspended above the sky, and shouted loudly. Huh. Roger's figure slowly emerged, with a faint smile on his face. Are you satisfied with this place? Roger asked with a smile. What exactly is this place? Bardock looked at Roger in surprise and asked hurriedly. Didn't they tell you, this is Planet Plant? Roger smiled slightly. Is this the earliest planet Vegeta? Bardock said solemnly. Yes, you went back 1,000 years. Roger smiled. What? 1,000 years ago? Bardock's expression became less calm. I said, I want to exile you, I wish you good luck. Roger said. The figure also became blurred. At this moment, a large amount of information suddenly appeared in Bardock's mind. 25 years later. So, does that man named Sun Wukong look like Kakarot? Why? Why did he change his name? The name Sun Wukong is clearly from the Earth. Why? Will Kakarot fight Frieza? That golden lightning, what is it? One question after another, Bardock was about to go crazy. Hey, stop for me. Bardock looked at Roger's disappearing figure, suddenly came back to his senses, and shouted loudly. However, after Bardock's voice fell, Roger disappeared without a trace. Bastard, let me go back. Bardock was furious, and his aura burst out crazily. Bang! Roger's figure flickered, he came back, and slapped Bardock into the depths of the earth. Bardock crawled out from the depths of the earth with difficulty. It's not good to swear. Roger smiled and looked at Bardock. Don't worry, in another 1,000 years, you will be reunited with your wife and your son. Of course, the premise is that you can to live so long. Quote. You, who are you? Bardock asked in trembling horror. Forgot to tell you, in this era, there is an ancestor of Frieza who is a pirate in this universe, you have to be careful. Roger smiled. What? Bardock's face became extremely ugly. Roger ignored Bardock, turned the ring of time and space, and returned to his own era. Bardock was silent for a moment, then he spat out a mouthful of blood, and his face became even paler. Am I really being exiled by him? 1,000 years ago. What about Raditz? What about Kakarot? What about Jain? How can I meet you? Do you really want me to wait 1,000 years? Can I live 1,000 years? Bardock spat out another mouthful of old blood and knelt on the ground. Woo, let me go back. Bardock's tears flowed down. Sure enough, as Roger expected, the power of the angels consumed a lot. Bardock is an important figure in the Dragon Ball universe and one of the fulcrums that maintains the balance of the universe. Because, Bardock is the truest portrayal of the legend about Super Saiyans in recent years. The Super Saiyan that came out of Frieza's mouth is because of Bardock. Based on the Dragon Ball story, Roger sent Bardock to 1,000 years ago. In this way, the existence of Bardock will also bring the entire universe into balance. Otherwise, Frieza's grandfather, Chilled, will be at the mercy of the seventh universe, putting the universe in an evil environment. Roger sensed his angelic power. After the events of Kakarot and Bardock, his angelic power had been consumed to 9,700. So slow. But finally found the right direction. It will be much easier later on. P.S. Ask for a reward, reward one person plus one update, and there is no cap. You are a genius, remember in a second. Chapter 11 Vegeta's last fight. As for why he tortured Bardock, it was his own fault. Angels are the gods of this universe. They attack or provoke angels maliciously without authorization. Other angels can bear it, but Roger can't bear it. I don't kill you, but I have a way to deal with you. Roger discovered 2 years ago that killing not only does not consume the power of angels, but increases the power of angels. Therefore, Roger will never shoot anyone who cannot kill. Of course, even if they don't kill people, Roger has a way to make them doubt life. Boom. When Roger came back, he saw planet Vegeta, which was bursting with brilliant colors. At the same time, Frieza let out a harsh, wild laugh in the distance. At this time, hey! A small spaceship slammed into Frieza's gigantic spaceship. Boom! The spacecraft was smaller than Frieza's, and it was destroyed at the time, as if hitting a stone with a pebble. That's the case, Frieza's spaceship was also knocked out by a gap, and a cloud of blue smoke came out. What's the situation? Many of Frieza's younger brothers were also a little sluggish one by one and did not respond. Oh, Frieza smiled, her eyelids twitching slightly when she saw that the spacecraft was blasted out of a big hole. Quickly repair the spaceship. Sabo's face was extremely ugly, and he hurriedly shouted to the younger brothers. Now that planet Vegeta has been destroyed, above this high sky, the air will also disperse with the disappearing planet Vegeta. When that time comes, I am afraid that all but a few races that can survive in space will die. Of course, if the spaceship is repaired, there may be no problem. Boom. Just after Sabo's voice fell, I saw a child with a tail, and energy emerged in his hand, bombarding the spaceship at once. With a loud bang, Frieza's spaceship turned into a fiery red flame and exploded in the starry sky. It's Vegeta. Sabo's eyes widened. Oh, that little Saiyan monkey known as a genius. Frieza narrowed his eyes and glanced in Vegeta's direction. After Vegeta destroyed Frieza's spaceship with her own hands, she rushed towards Frieza with a rage. Bang! Vegeta's fist pierced through the void, as if carrying endless energy. Crack! The seemingly extremely ferocious punch was gently blocked by Frieza's palm. The combat power is 21,000, how is this possible? Sabo had already seen Vegeta's combat power through the detector. Only a little more than 20,000 combat power. Frieza laughed. Boom! Just as he was talking, Vegeta's free left hand suddenly blasted up with a powerful energy, covering Frieza directly inside. However, Vegeta was also very tired, panting heavily, making it difficult to breathe. At this time, with the destruction of planet Vegeta, the air has become thinner and thinner. Well done, Vegeta. Frieza's figure gradually emerged, squinting at Vegeta. Just now, what Vegeta blasted was just Frieza's flying machine. Frieza, safe and sound. I'm going to kill you. Frieza, Vegeta shouted, and a trace of struggle appeared on her tender face. Crack! An energy bomb appeared. Vegeta threw the energy bomb into the starry sky. The next moment, the energy bomb burst into a dazzling light. Vegeta stared directly at the energy bomb, her body grew rapidly, and a lot of black hair grew on her body. Roar! In an instant, a black gorilla appeared in the starry sky. Frieza, go to hell! Vegeta took a big mouth, and a huge energy came straight to Frieza. Sabo and Dodoria's faces sank, and their pupils shrank together. The two of them could clearly feel the threat posed by this energy. HMPH. Frieza's face was flat. Bang! Immediately after, Frieza kicked out. With a muffled sound, Frieza's kick directly hit the energy from Vegeta's bombardment. The energy changed direction at that time and flew into the starry sky. Vegeta was stunned, and her huge body trembled. With your level, you dare to challenge me, Frieza? Frieza smiled contemptuously, pointing her index finger to the artificial full moon condensed by Vegeta. Hey! The flame flashed in Frieza's hand, and a bright red flame shot out. Boom! Vegeta's artificial full moon was then torn apart into a cloud of gas. You are a genius, remember in a second. Chapter 12 Vegeta is desperate, rewards and updates for the loyal fans of the island owner. Vegeta's body also shrank rapidly and returned to its original shape. Hey! Vegeta shivered all over, with unwillingness written all over her tender face. Little monkey, what other tricks are there? Feel free to use them. Frieza smiled and looked at Vegeta with interest. Vegeta was devastated. The planet is destroyed. Almost all Saiyans are dead. I can't be the Saiyan king anymore. Frieza the beast. Kill him. Frieza ordered Dodoria, not too lazy to do it himself. Yes. Dodoria squeezed her fists with a playful smile on her face. Bang. Dodoria punched in the past and directly hit Vegeta in the face. Vegeta gritted her teeth, and blood came out of her nose. Vegeta's remaining energy was running out, and he was no match for Dodoria at all. Damn, 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 Vegeta shouted. Little monkey, you won't have a miracle if you shout. Dodoria looked at Vegeta with a smile. A miracle has come. Just after Dodoria's voice fell, a voice that Vegeta felt familiar abruptly rang nearby. Vegeta was stunned for a moment, and quickly looked for the location of the voice. Immediately afterwards, Vegeta saw a familiar figure. Roger, am I right? Are you still alive? Vegeta was surprised. Roger, I've heard this name before, it seems to be the chief guard of the Saiyans. Dodoria glanced at Roger. He, captain of the guard. It's too stupid, you should find a spaceship to sneak away, maybe there is still a chance of survival. Frieza smiled contemptuously. It's not good to curse. Roger glanced at Frieza. Oh, you're quite confident. Frieza squinted and looked at Roger with a playful expression. Bang. Roger got a little angry and kicked him. Frieza couldn't resist at all, and flew out at that moment. What? Sabo's face became extremely ugly. How is this possible? Dodoria's face changed even more. Fighting power. I can't see it, I can't see his fighting power at all. What's going on? Sabo was stunned. What? Me too. Dodoria also immediately pressed the button on the detector. No fighting power. Kick Frieza with one kick. Why is this happening? Fortunately, Frieza will be back soon. However, there was a dark footprint on Frieza's face. I underestimated you. Frieza's face darkened. Vegeta, didn't I let you go? Why did you come back? Roger ignored Frieza. Killing Frieza now is somewhat inappropriate. Now, Beerus is sleeping. In this universe, only the Kaiwang god exists. Without God of Destruction destroying the planet, it would throw the universe out of balance. The birth of too many planets can only make the universe go to extinction in advance. Of course, if Frieza was going to die, Roger wouldn't mind killing him. Roger can help to destroy the planet. However, the thought of working for Beerus made Roger a big headache, so it would be better to leave Frieza's dog dead. I left, but I saw planet Vegeta destroyed and came back. Vegeta clenched his fists. I saw with my own eyes, it was the planet Vegeta that was destroyed by Frieza. Luo, Gia, the two of us joined forces to destroy him. You are so powerful, you can definitely do it. Actually, I think it's more appropriate for you to kill him yourself. Roger looked at Vegeta flatly. I think so too, but I can't beat him. Vegeta clenched his fists. Roger, I think you can definitely beat him. Of course, giving him 100 won't be enough for me. Roger grinned. Vegeta. Vegeta's immature face looked at Roger silently. Can we not brag? 100 is not enough to fight. See what you can. Frieza also looked at Roger with a chuckle. After hearing Roger's words, Frieza was almost infuriated, and even because of the joy, the footprints on his face didn't feel anything wrong. Frieza understood. The feeling is that 100 of them join forces, and they are not the opponents of the Saiyan captain. Originally thought that this person was still a bit strong, but it turned out to be just a cocky arrogant madman. Captain of the Saiyan bodyguard, your tone is not small. Frieza chuckled lightly, killing intent on his face. In that case, I'll let you see, I'm terrifying Frieza. The air in this position is getting thinner and thinner. If you go on like this, you'll be finished. Roger felt a little, glanced at Vegeta, and sighed silently. What? Weren't you bragging just now? Even if I don't do it now, you won't be alive for long. Frieza smiled contemptuously and put her hand on Roger's body. However, I prefer to kill you with my own hands. Quote. If you want to fight, change the place. Roger said. A scepter suddenly appeared in his right hand. You are a genius, remember in a second. Chapter 13_Angel's Cube, for a reward. Huh. Roger held a scepter and drew a square in the starry sky. Crack. Suddenly, in the starry sky, a huge light blue square appeared, and all of the people present were enveloped in it at once. Let's go together. Roger jumped to the top of the outside of the block and said hello. Hey. The cube took the crowd and quickly swept toward a nearby planet. Everyone present was stunned. Even Frieza looked astonished, looking at Roger standing above his head in horror. Vegeta's eyes widened even more, and she didn't come back to her senses for a long time. Who is he? Frieza asked in surprise. Vegeta didn't speak. You ask me. I want to know too. Bang. Frieza's tail flicked heavily and slammed into the light blue wall of the cube. Ohm. The block made a loud noise. Everyone in the cube felt a huge bang at that time, and their ears were deafened, not to mention how uncomfortable it was. What is this thing made of? Why is it so strong? Frieza looked shocked. With such a flick of Frieza's tail just now, he believed that there was no problem in shattering a planet. As a result, the block just made a humming sound, without even a trace of it appearing. It's all like this, you're not being honest. Roger glanced at Frieza. Alright, let's have fun with you guys. Hey. A group of colorful flames appeared on Roger's body, and he took the cube to speed up the flight. Immediately afterwards, Roger's body was spinning rapidly in a spiral shape. In the light blue transparent square, no one spoke anymore. Have you ever seen the spin-dry mode of a washing machine? Yes, it is like this. Roger's rapid rotation caused the people in the cube to lie on the wall due to centrifugal force. 5 minutes later, Roger controlled the cube to appear on a planet. Crack. The block came with a sudden break. Bang bang bang. Frieza and the others slammed into the wall of the cube one by one, and let out a wailing sound. Roger tapped the square lightly with his scepter. Crack. The block just dissipated. Frieza and the others rolled to the ground. Immediately afterwards, everyone in the block vomited on the ground one by one. Vegeta was also dizzy for a while, and she couldn't even stand. I wipe. I'm with you. You let me go anyway. Frieza recovered the fastest, with a dark face, looking at Roger vigilantly. Bastard, who are you? Frieza asked cursingly. So uncomfortable. This turns people around. As the Emperor of the universe, Frieza has never been treated like this. So hateful. Bang. Roger hit Frieza directly on the head with his scepter. With a muffled sound, Frieza's entire body slammed into the ground, leaving only half of his head. It's not right to swear. Roger smiled. Whoa. Frieza was furious, and suddenly rose from the ground and flew into the sky. Frieza was condescending, glaring at Roger, as if flames were about to burst from his eyes. Unforgivable, unforgivable. Frieza was furious, with blue veins on his forehead. Everyone present was stunned. How could this Saiyan captain be so powerful? Did you knock Frieza into the ground so easily? However, when he thought that this person had just made a strange cube spinning at a high speed, Sabo and his younger brothers vomited for a while. Vegeta's eyes widened. Roger, is it so powerful? Immediately afterwards, Vegeta shook her head vigorously. If you are strong, be strong. What are you doing with me? You at least let me out. Vegeta was stunned for a while. Planet Destruction Bomb. Frieza raised his right hand slightly, and a red flame suddenly condensed on the position of his index finger. The bright red flame rose when it saw the wind, and in the blink of an eye, it had already expanded to a range of 10 meters in diameter. Lord Frieza, we're still down there, Sabo shouted loudly, and flew into the sky quickly. The rest of the younger brothers were also frightened one by one, and rushed up quickly. Disappear with this planet. How could Frieza take care of those little brothers at this time? With a wave of his hand, the planet-destroying bomb fell from the sky and smashed straight into Roger's direction. Vegeta also ran away immediately. Crack! Roger stretched out his hand and touched the falling planet destroyer. The moment the planet destroyer bullet came into contact with Roger, it stood still. Frieza was dumbfounded. Sabo's eyes widened. Dodoria looked stunned. Vegeta was stunned. Did it stop so easily? So easy. That's a planet-destroying bomb. How is this possible? Frieza's face became extremely ugly. Hey! Roger waved lightly. Immediately, the planet-destroying bullet rubbed Frieza's body and rushed out of Judianyan, disappearing. The corners of Frieza's mouth twitched, and her face stiffened. P.S. Ask for a reward. Reward one person plus one update, and there is no cap. No matter how much you reward. You are a genius, remember in a second. Chapter 14_World King. If you keep fighting like this, you won't see the power of angels being consumed. Roger muttered a little distressed. So boring. I actually played with a little ant for so long. Or, pinch him to death. Roger looked at Frieza with a bad look on his face. Frieza's face was also stiff, and her whole body was trembling with fear. Such a strong guy. But Roger glanced and saw Vegeta beside him. Vegeta, if you replace Frieza to become the emperor of this universe, would you like it? Roger's heart moved. What do you mean? Vegeta was just a little kid now and didn't react for a while. Forget it, you're still too young. Roger thought about it for a while, but the thought was over. A little kid, who rules the universe, hasn't mixed the universe into a paste. Captain of the Saiyan bodyguard, do you think you've defeated me now? Frieza was trembling with anger, glaring at Roger, her face becoming more and more gloomy. Boom! Immediately afterwards, an extremely powerful energy emerged from Frieza's body. At the same time, Frieza's body is gradually changing. What does he want to do? Vegeta stared at Frieza's change. Whoa! In an instant, Frieza transformed into his fourth form. He transformed. Frieza will transform. Vegeta was stunned. HMPH, Saiyan Chief Guard, do you really think that Frieza has lost to you? Frieza smiled, as if this transformation made him feel more secure. Huh. Roger's figure flickered, and suddenly appeared behind Frieza. Bang! Roger slapped him lightly. With a muffled sound, Roger's slap slapped directly on the back of Frieza's head. Boom! Like a cannonball, Frieza flew directly into the ground, leaving only half of his head. Everyone took a closer look and found out that Frieza had completely fainted. Everyone was stunned. No one would have imagined that Frieza had transformed, and was easily hit by Roger on the ground, and even fainted. No wonder Your Excellency. Frieza fled into the ground without moving. Roger fell from the sky and landed on Frieza's head. You just bury it here for a month. Roger smiled, and a divine power hit Frieza. Suddenly, Frieza trembled. Then, Frieza woke up suddenly, widened her eyes, and shook her head. When he felt where he was, Frieza was furious. However, Frieza was horrified to discover that the energy in her body seemed to be sealed by something. Let's go. Roger stepped forward and grabbed Vegeta's neck, turning into a colorful flame and quickly disappearing. Seeing Roger fly away from the scene, Frieza's younger brothers panicked one by one. Everyone hurriedly wanted to dig out Frieza. As a result, what shocked Sabo and others was that the land that had fallen into Frieza was extremely strong and could not be broken open at all. How is this possible? Sabo was stunned. Who is he? Dodoria was also terrified. Bastard. Frieza, must kill him. Frieza was shaking with anger. Hey! Roger grabbed Vegeta's neck and soared in the starry sky. Let go of me. Vegeta felt that she was so sad that the dignified Saiyan prince was caught as a kitten. Be honest, Roger shouted. Vegeta stopped talking. Vegeta felt that it was time to re-evaluate Roger's strength. Too strong. How can he be his greatest ruler? No, Saiyans are all dead. What kind of Saiyan king? Vegeta was suddenly very sad. Hey! Roger broke through the void abruptly. Vegeta was stunned for a while, and suddenly saw a large golden cloud appearing above him. What place is this? Vegeta was not to mention how surprised. This is the underworld, Roger said. Underworld? Am I dead? Vegeta was stunned. No, dead people have halos on their heads. Roger pointed to the ghost lined up below. Vegeta glanced over there, her expression changing. Hey! The next moment, Vegeta saw a very small green planet appearing directly in front of him. Huh! Just when Vegeta was thinking about where this was, Roger landed on that planet with Vegeta. This planet. Gravity is the same as planet Vegeta. Vegeta looked at the ground. Hello, Realm King, Roger greeted with a smile. The Realm King rushed out, and when he saw Roger, he was a little confused. The Realm King's status is too low, how can he know angels? However, the Realm King could sense the powerful divine power on Roger. This is Vegeta, Saiyan's little prince. Kai Wang's eyes widened. You are a genius, remember in a second. Chapter 15 _ Apprentice Angel Myers. Who is this guy? The king of the realm. What is he doing? Vegeta was puzzled and looked at the king of the realm with a bewildered expression. Zhuang, please help me train him for 10 days. Roger greeted the king. Ah, the realm king was startled. Vegeta, follow him to practice hard, and I'll come back in 10 days. Roger patted Vegeta's head. Hey! After Roger's voice fell, it turned into a colorful streamer, and disappeared in a flash. Immediately afterwards, Roger flew quickly in the direction of the earth. In the process of marching, the tail that came out behind Roger also slowly disappeared. At the same time, the clothes on Roger's body were also transformed into ordinary clothes of earthlings by him. Just when Roger entered the Milky Way, suddenly a colorful flame came swiftly towards him. Huh! The other party appeared in front of Roger. Roger stopped slowly. Myers, are you grown up? Roger recognized the other at a glance, it was Myers. Yeah Roger, I joined the Galaxy Patrol a month ago and came here to practice. Myers greeted friendly. How much is your angelic power? Roger asked. 1800. Myers replied, scratching his head. In a month, I only consumed 10 points. It's too difficult, and I don't know when I will be able to use up all these angelic powers. Roger. Roger didn't know what to say. After consuming 10 points in a month, this product still has so little angel power left. Looking at his 9,700 angel power, Roger had a headache. By the way, Roger, where did you go to practice? Myers asked. Planet Vegeta. Roger replied with a dark face. I heard that planet Vegeta was destroyed. Frieza did it, Myers said. Roger's face became even more ugly. If you don't speak, no one treats you as dumb. Roger, I heard that your angelic power is up to 10,000, is that true? Myers asked again. Roger nodded, his face darker. As long as you consume and transform the power of these angels and make a breakthrough in the realm of true gods, you will become the future archangel. Myers said excitedly. Roger did not speak. However, I found that the power of angels is consumed too slowly. Your 10,000 points of power of angels will take at least 100 years according to my consumption rate. Of course, this is also calculated on average, maybe longer. Listen. Speaking of the last 100 angel powers, it is very difficult to consume. Myers didn't seem to notice Roger's terrifying eyes, and still said to himself, so, I'm afraid it will take you 1,000 years to get these. The power of the angels is completely exhausted, but I don't know how many real god domains can be transformed. But it's nothing, 1,000 years is not a long time for us angels. Bang! Roger slapped it with a slap, and then spun the picture that Myers had photographed. Roger turned and left. So sad. Your angelic power is small, you show off in front of me. However, I am stronger than you, and I will beat you once I see you in the future. Roger turned into a colorful flame and disappeared quickly. Myers turned around for 10 minutes before slowly stopping. Myers felt dizzy. Seeing Roger's disappearing figure, Myers was confused for a while. Why are you making me go around in circles? Is turning in circles also an experience? Myers scratched his head, glanced thoughtfully at the direction where Roger disappeared, and returned to the headquarters of the Galaxy Patrol. Roger turned into a colorful flame and went straight to the direction of the Earth. Huh. The next moment, Roger appeared above the headquarters of the Universal Capsule Company, silently looking at the buildings below. Immediately afterwards, Roger's body gradually became smaller. Looking at it again, Roger seems to have become a child only 5 or 6 years old. Crack. Roger fell from the sky and took a deep breath. For some time in the future, just spend it on Earth. I hope a peaceful life can also allow me to consume the power of an angel. Roger pondered. Hello, who are you? What are you doing at our house? 3 minutes later, Roger heard a little girl questioning him in the distance. The little girl looked about 6 years old, with blue hair and a small braid. She looked pretty cute. Are you Bulma? Roger asked, looking at the little girl. How do you know my name? Bulma asked warily. My name is Roger, I am a god who has gone to the human world to experience. You are blessed, I want to live in your house for a while. Roger told the truth. PFF'd. Bulma burst out laughing at the time. Roger did not speak. Honestly, why don't you believe it? You said that you are a god. This kind of deceitful trick, you can deceive children, don't lie to me. Bulma said angrily. Aren't you a child? You seem to be only 6 years old. Roger smiled. Ah, I actually forgot, I'm also a child. Bulma held her head with a sad expression on her face. You are a genius, remember in a second. Chapter 16_Myers. Roger, why turn me on? So, you agree? Roger asked. I don't agree, Bulma shouted. Well, what do you wish for? I can help you realize it. Roger said. What wish? Bulma looked up thoughtfully and glanced at Roger. My family is so rich, your question makes me very embarrassed. Roger really wanted to beat the kid. Can we pretend? I'm not an angel like you can pretend. Yes, I want strawberries that I can never finish. Bulma looked at Roger and asked excitedly, can you do it? Roger. Bulma, this girl doll. A few years later, the purpose of her search for Dragon Balls is also the strawberries that will never be eaten. However, at that time Bulma had grown up, and it was better to find a Prince Charming than strawberries that could never be eaten. You don't cherish things that are easily obtained, Roger said. Can't you change it? Bulma looked at Roger. There is a way to make your wish come true. Roger said, go to your warehouse and look for it, and you can find a golden bead. Warehouse. Bulma beckoned to a robot. Did you hear that? Find a golden bead. The robot was quickly found in the warehouse and returned with the Dragon Balls. Bulma picked up the Dragon Ball and looked at it carefully. Huh, there are 2 stars in here, what are they doing? It's such a strange thing. Bulma glanced over and couldn't see why, and then seemed to think of something. You secretly put the beads in the warehouse, right? This is a Dragon Ball. There are 7 in total, and there are 1 to 7 stars in it. Yours is also called a 2-star Dragon Ball. Roger explained. Dragon Ball. Can you eat it as a strawberry? Bulma showed her stammering teeth, took a bite on the Dragon Ball, and exclaimed, it's so hard. Toothache. Dragon Balls are scattered all over the world, and 7 Dragon Balls are collected. Just say, come out, Shenlong, and the Shenlong will appear and fulfill any of your wishes. Roger said, you can never finish eating strawberries. Ask Shenlong if you want it. You lie to the child. Bulma didn't believe it. You can look up some related ancient documents, which have records on Dragon Ball. Roger smiled. After 3 hours, Bulma really found an introduction to Dragon Ball, and was a little surprised. However, Bulma wouldn't believe that Roger was trained by God. For the sake of providing me with Dragon Balls, I'll let you live in our house, but if you're a bad person, I'll be rude to you. Bulma said, with a laser gun in his hand. Hey! Bulma pulled the trigger. A laser shot from the muzzle. Boom! On the artificial lake in the distance, the tide lifted a height of 10 meters. Did you see it? Bulma looked smug. This gun is very powerful, I have researched it. And even if you grab this gun, it's useless, the trigger is identified by fingerprints. Wrong, the fingerprints do not emit lasers. Quote. That night. What? Is Roger a god? Come to the human world for experience. Bulma's father, Dr. Brives, coughed uncontrollably, then laughed and adjusted his glasses. Ha ha ha, what a creative way to say it. Okay, whatever you, aren't you bored? Just let Roger play with you in the future. Dr. Brives was not upset by the addition of a stranger to the family. The Magnum Capsule Company is so big that even if all the Namekians come, it won't feel crowded. Even if there is someone like Roger in the family, it is not a big deal for the Bulma family. In this way, Roger stayed at Bulma's house for the time being. 10 days later. Roger, I'm going to find Dragon Ball. Bulma said. Don't make trouble, how old are you? Wait until you are an adult. Roger reprimanded. I'm no longer a child. Bulma pouted, sullen. You're only 6 years old, you're ashamed to say it, said Roger. I want strawberries that I'll never run out of. Bulma pouted. I'm going out today, Roger said. Where are you going? When are you coming back? After Bulma asked, she turned her head and found that Roger was gone. Bulma looked puzzled. Where are the people? Roger, where are you? Bulma shouted. After 3 minutes. Roger, come out, I don't like playing hide and seek at all. Bulma pouted. Hey! Roger turned into a colorful flame and broke into the sky. When passing through the headquarters of the Galaxy Patrol, the colorful flames passed directly through Myers' room. Bang! Roger slapped Myers on the body. Suddenly, Myers spun rapidly on the spot. 10 minutes later, Myers stopped turning, and Roger had disappeared without a trace. Roger, what are you doing? Why turn me on? Myers stared. Could it be that turning in circles is really an experience? You are a genius, remember in a second. Chapter 17 _Vegeta, how dare you bark at me? Add more rewards to 13,417,787,741. King's Planet. The king of the Northern Realm lay on the ground with a bruised nose and a swollen face, and kept calling. HMPH, at your level, can you teach me to become stronger? You can't even beat me, you are too weak. Vegeta stepped on Kaiwang's body and said with a cold face. Vegeta, although I'm not as strong as you, but I. The king wanted to tell Vegeta that he could make Vegeta stronger. But when the words came to his mouth, he swallowed them again. The Realm King is tired. If you make this kid stronger, wouldn't you be more sad? Now that this kid has been beaten like this, will it be okay in the future? The Realm King simply stopped talking. I hope the god named Roger comes quickly. Cough, Vegeta, you're going too far. After Roger arrived, he just saw the scene of Kai Wang being bullied, and he couldn't help coughing. Huh, Roger, you've come, take me out of this place quickly. Vegeta raised her feet and looked at Roger with a smile on her face. Ouch. The Realm King got up from the ground, the corners of his mouth twitched, and his face was embarrassed. HMPH, Roger, I really don't know what you did to bring me to this planet. And let me practice with this idiot. I'm much stronger than him. Vegeta looked proud. So, in these 10 days, you haven't learned anything? Roger asked with a dark face. What to learn? Is it necessary? Vegeta snorted. This guy's combat power is less than 10,000. I am really disappointed by a guy of this level. Roger's face darkened. The Realm King was silent on the side. Yes, he is not as strong as Vegeta. Roger, take me out of here, I'm going to clean up Frieza. Vegeta was confident. Bang! Roger slapped it. With a muffled sound, Vegeta's body penetrated the entire planet on the spot and flew out from the other side of the planet. Vegeta flew to a height and then fell in free fall. Bang! Vegeta's body hit the ground and nearly fainted. Huh! Roger flew over, stepped on Vegeta's body with his feet, and rolled on the ground. Realm King. How brutal. Who is this young man? I'm here to let you practice with the King of the Realm. You're good. It took 10 days for your combat power to increase by 10. Roger was so angry that his nose was crooked, so he stepped on Vegeta's body with his feet, just like kneading dough, rolling back and forth on this grass. Damn, Vegeta bared. How dare you bark at me? Roger slapped it, knocking out several of Vegeta's teeth. Vegeta was silent. Although the real king's strength is not as good as you, he is a very good teacher. Vegeta, I really don't know who gave you confidence. Roger reprimanded. Vegeta simply stopped talking. He found that the more he talked, or the more he stared, the more Roger rolled himself. Speak. Are you running out of words? Roger shouted. Vegeta. Realm King. How brutal. However, it's cool. Roger reprimanded Vegeta for a while, but did not give up on him after all. Vegeta can be regarded as the first person Roger met when he came to planet Vegeta, and he can be regarded as his little follower. For a little bit of selfishness, Roger still means to take care of Vegeta a little bit. Otherwise, Roger would not have brought Vegeta to Kaiwang's planet and let him practice with Kaiwang. Just judging from the current situation, it is impossible to stay here any longer. This kid bullied the Realm King like this, it's no wonder that Realm King can teach him skills. But forgiving Vegeta so easily, Roger has no face. Roger glanced at the king. You are saying something. If you don't talk, I can't keep rolling Vegeta down like this, right? That, Roger, forget it. The corner of the king's mouth twitched, and he hurried over to respond. Bang! Roger slapped the real king into the depths of the earth. You bastard, you can't even do such a small thing. Roger scolded. The Realm King was about to cry. I am so innocent. Who am I to provoke? Hey! Roger didn't stay here. He took Vegeta, turned into a colorful flame, and quickly disappeared. Huh! The scepter appeared in Roger's hand, and a healing flame hit Vegeta. Immediately, Vegeta's injury was completely healed. Huh! My injury. Is it okay? Vegeta came back to his senses immediately, with a little excitement on his face. At the same time, Vegeta also discovered that his combat effectiveness has also improved a lot. Huh, Roger, will you heal? Vegeta asked in surprise, looking at Roger expectantly. Roger could see it, and the boy Vegeta's eyes seemed to be saying, hurry up and abuse him, and then treat him. You are a genius, remember in a second. Chapter 18_Roger, are you a Super Saiyan? Add more rewards to 13,724,425,918. Simply recovering from near death to improve your combat effectiveness is not a good thing for your future cultivation. Roger said. I think my combat powers should have surpassed Frieza now. Vegeta's young face was full of confidence. Roger, maybe I'm a Super Saiyan now, take me to find it. Frieza, I will kill him with my own hands. Roger ignored Vegeta. Where did this kid get his confidence? There was silence for a moment. Do you know why Frieza wants to destroy planet Vegeta? Roger asked. Huh, isn't it because Frieza is afraid that a Super Saiyan will be born among us Saiyans? Vegeta snorted. I am a genius warrior among Saiyans. Maybe I am a Super Saiyan now. People. After saying this, Vegeta looked directly at Roger. Roger, are you a Super Saiyan? Vegeta asked. Roger shook his head. You're so powerful, you're not a Super Saiyan yet. Vegeta asked in surprise. Come on, I'll take you to meet the real Super Saiyan. Roger didn't answer Vegeta's question. Huh. I saw Roger gently turning the space-time ring. Roger took Vegeta and disappeared in a flash. 5 minutes later. In front of Vegeta, a very familiar planet appeared. Planet Vegeta. Is that Planet Vegeta? Vegeta exclaimed. Planet Vegeta wasn't destroyed. Roger did not nod, and accelerated his flight. Soon, Roger took Vegeta and appeared directly above where Bardock was. Is that Bardock? Sure enough, Planet Vegeta is still there. Vegeta was a little excited, but still a little confused. The strange thing is that the scenery on this planet is a bit different from Planet Vegeta. Not quite the same. Quote. Studying with Bardock here, this is your last chance. Roger finished. Bang. Roger flew and kicked Vegeta down. After 10 days of getting along, Bardock still missed his wife and children, but he finally calmed down. In particular, helping the plant star to drive away a few space pirates made Bardock feel at ease. It's just that Bardock felt helpless when he thought that this was 1,000 years ago. The only thing that makes Bardock feel fortunate is that it seems that, according to this historical development, as long as he has lived enough for 1,000 years, he can really see his wife. Bardock suddenly got a little excited. Bardock gets along fairly well with the natives of Planet Plant, especially the child named Bailey. Seeing Bailey, Bardock couldn't help thinking of his youngest son Kakarot. Kakarot, too, when he was 3 years old. Wrong. How can Kakarot look like this? However, Kakarot's innocent personality should follow his mother, right? Bardock raised his head and sighed. Then, I couldn't sigh anymore. Bardock saw a dark shadow fall from the sky. Bang! Vegeta's body pressed directly on Bardock's head. Bardock fell deeply into the earth. Vegeta also screamed in pain. Damn, what are you doing, Roger? Vegeta gritted her teeth and stood up from the ground. After Bardock heard Roger's name, he immediately sprang from the ground. Roger, where are you? Bardock asked hastily. Roger ignored the two of them, and just hovered so high in the air, staring at them with a smile. Huh, Your Highness Vegeta, is that you? Bardock turned his head and saw Vegeta, and asked in surprise, are you still alive? Where's Raditz? What Raditz? Vegeta was stunned. Didn't His Highness take Raditz on a mission to aliens? Bardock asked. Bardock, do you think that with the strength of this prince, as for taking a fuel bottle to do the task? Vegeta said with a look of disdain, I won't go. Ah, it seems that Namek took Raditz out. Raditz didn't return to planet Vegeta. Bardock asked again. I don't know. Vegeta snorted, even if I knew, I wouldn't tell you. I'm going back to the palace, goodbye. After speaking, Vegeta rose into the air and flew away. Bardock. Palace. Here is Planet Plant. Where is the palace? 3 minutes later. Vegeta flew back from a distance. Hey, what is this place? Why is it completely different from our planet Vegeta? Vegeta asked curiously. Don't you know? Bardock glanced at Vegeta. Know what? Vegeta asked. This is 1,000 years ago, Bardock said solemnly. What? 1,000 years ago? What are you kidding? Vegeta exclaimed. You are a genius, remember in a second. Chapter 19_transform. Bardock becomes a Super Saiyan. Rewards and updates for 12,130,537 Ming. Bardock had a serious expression on his face. No way. Really 1,000 years ago? Seeing that Bardock didn't seem to be joking, Vegeta's face sank. What? Roger didn't tell you? Bardock glanced at Vegeta. Roger, come out quickly, take me back, Vegeta shouted. Roger was too lazy to answer. Vegeta shouted a few times, but found that there was no response, and glanced at Bardock again. Hey, Roger told me to learn from you. So you're a Super Saiyan? Vegeta asked. Super Saiyan? How is that possible? Bardock shook his head. Then what should I learn from you? This guy is too nasty. One day, I will defeat him. Let him bow his head and be his servant. Vegeta bared her teeth. Bang! Just as he was talking, an invisible divine power covered him down, and directly suppressed Vegeta to the ground. What's the situation? Bardock looked stunned. You are fine, why are you lying down? Damn, let me go, Vegeta roared. I didn't touch you, Bardock said quickly. Hey. At this moment, I saw a spaceship slowly descending in the distance. Someone is here. Is that the guy named Chilled? Bardock's expression became heavy. Child, who? Vegeta lay on the ground and couldn't help asking. Here he is, said Bardock solemnly. Sure enough, Vegeta saw a person who looked more similar to Frieza in the next moment, appearing opposite Bardock. At the same time, by Chilled's side, there are two younger brothers. These two little brothers were beaten by Bardock before, so they brought Chilled to avenge them. Frieza, that Frieza guy, Vegeta shouted, then shook his head. Looks alike, not Frieza. Chilled gave Vegeta a bewildered look. Whose child is this? How are you lying on the ground? HMPH, did they hit you? Chilled said with a dark face. The two little brothers nodded vigorously and pointed to Bardock. Who are you? Chilled asked, looking at Bardock. Saiyan, Bardock. Bardock said coldly. Saiyan. Chilled froze for a moment, then glanced at Vegeta again. HMPH, even if you find a child to lie down and beg for mercy, I won't let you go. Of course, if you are with that come and beg for mercy like a child, maybe I can consider forgiving you. Quote. You think too much, he just likes that pose, but I don't. Bardock sneered. HMPH, you don't know if you live or die, you don't cry until you see the coffin. Chilled rubbed his nose and his face became gloomy. In the future, Frieza destroyed my planet. Here, I will never allow that kind of history. The future will happen again. Bardock stammered, and the energy surged out of him frantically. Immediately afterwards, Bardock flew away in the direction of Chilled. Bardock's fist broke through the void and went straight to Child's face. Bang! Only, Chilled was faster. I saw Child's knee slammed into Bardock's abdomen. PFF'd. Blood spurted from Bardock's mouth. Chilled grabbed Bardock's hair and slapped him loudly in the face. Bang! Chilled kicked Bardock to the ground. PFF'd. The moment Bardock fell to the ground, he felt a sweetness in his throat, and a mouthful of blood splattered on the ground. Bardock. At this moment, Bailey rushed up quickly, tears falling down. Go away, Bardock shouted. Bardock, hurry up, I'll treat you, Bailey said, and hurriedly poured the healing potion on Bardock's body. Oh, Plant's brat, are you brave enough to treat this guy in front of me? Chilled's face turned cold. You're a badass, Bailey exclaimed. HMPH, I don't know whether to live or die. Chilled stepped forward. Bang! Chilled slapped Bailey's oval head back. With a muffled sound, Bailey's body flew high at the time, leaving a bloodstain in the air and rolling down to the ground. Bardock's eyes widened, and after a closer look, Bailey was already dead. You bastard, Chilled said coldly, the next one is you, Saiyan Bardock. Crack! Bardock stood up abruptly from the ground. Boom! A golden lightning fell from the sky and landed on Bardock's head. Crack! Bardock's pupils suddenly changed color and became green. Boom! The next moment, Bardock's hair stood tall and turned golden. At the same time, a layer of golden flames appeared around Bardock's body. What's the situation? Vegeta's pupils shrank, looking at this strange scene in surprise. I can't spare you, Chilled. Bardock walked step by step in Chilled's direction. You are a genius, remember in a second. Chapter 20 _Bardock. Roger, I'm going to challenge you. 4. Love, S approximately equals, S reward plus more. Chilled was also a little confused. How did it become yellow hair? But soon, Chilled calmed down. Do you think you can defeat me, Chilled, by changing your appearance? Chilled said coldly. Bardock didn't speak, and walked again in the direction of Chilled. Looking for death, Chilled snorted coldly, the flames condensed in his fingers, and a crimson flame went straight to Bardock's direction. Bang! With a wave of Bardock's hand, the flame was scattered on the spot. Immediately afterwards, Bardock kicked out. This kick directly on Child's chest. Ouch! Child's face was convulsed and contorted, and the whole person flew backwards. Boom! Child's body fell heavily into the distant jungle, gushing blood. Huh! Bardock flew high. Dead. Bardock flicked his hand and threw an energy bomb towards Child's location. Boom! There was a thud in Child's position. Child passed out at the time, and his vitality was collapsing. Lord Chilled! Lord Chilled! The two younger brothers hurried over. You two, it's not a pity to die. Bardock looked at the two Chilled brothers with a murderous look on his face. The two were frightened, and stopped in a hurry, looking at Bardock in horror, their whole body trembling. However, I have more important things to do. Bardock smiled lightly, raised his head, and looked towards the sky. Hey! Bardock turned into a golden beam and rushed into the sky. While Bardock didn't notice their side, the two younger brothers quickly took the seriously injured child to the spacecraft and left Planet Plant. HMPH, Roger, you are indeed here. I knew you would be here. Bardock squinted at Roger who was facing him. What? Become a Super Saiyan, and start to be arrogant. Roger smiled. Just now, Roger made a slight movement just to attract Bardock. If Roger really wanted Bardock to be found, there was absolutely no way Bardock could find him. Let me go back to the time when Planet Vegeta still existed, and I'll let you go. Bardock said coldly. Childish. Roger smiled lightly, and an upside-down golden hook kicked Bardock directly. Boom. Bardock was like a cannonball, and it hit the ground heavily at that time. PFF'd. Bardock spat out a mouthful of blood, and the golden flame on his body collapsed at once. Little Super Saiyan, dare to yell in front of me. Roger put his foot on Bardock and rolled back and forth. Bardock was stunned. I'm turning into a Super Saiyan. Can I beat Roger? How is this going? Who is he? Crack. At this time, the divine pressure on Vegeta had disappeared, and he hurriedly came over. Seeing Roger rolling his feet on Bardock's body, Vegeta suddenly felt a sense of schadenfreude. So fun. Roger, you said he was a Super Saiyan with golden light all over his body just now. Vegeta thought thoughtfully. Do you understand this time? Roger asked rhetorically. Is this really 1,000 years ago? That guy just now is Frieza's ancestor. Vegeta pondered. You can understand that. Roger nodded slightly. How did he become a Super Saiyan? How do I feel like it's because of anger? Vegeta asked again. You can take it easy on yourself. Roger smiled. So, what about this guy? Vegeta asked again. Stay, he is the beginning of the Super Saiyan legend. Roger said with a smile. Bang. The next moment, Roger's feet were covered with divine power. With a muffled sound, Bardock fell deeply into the ground, only showing half of his head. Bardock, live well and see you in 1,000 years. Roger smiled slightly. Immediately afterwards, Roger took Vegeta to turn the space-time ring. Huh. Roger disappeared with Vegeta. Bardock crawled up from the ground with a look of embarrassment, his aura burst out crazily, golden light bloomed all over his body, and he became a Super Saiyan again. Roger, take me back. Bardock shouted. After shouting, Roger did not appear. The golden light on Bardock collapsed, and a heavy punch hit the ground of Planet Plant. I'm going home, Bardock said solemnly. Bardock, from now on, this is your home. Bailey came up. When Bardock was fighting against Chilled just now, Bailey had been cured by the healing potion. Bardock glanced at Bailey. Bang! Bardock kicked Bailey several times. Bardock, what's the matter with you? Bailey's parents were shocked. Those Planet Planters were all shivering with fright. Isn't Bardock quite easygoing? Why did it suddenly go bad? Go away, my home is on Planet Vegeta. Bardock snorted coldly, turned into a golden beam, and flew high into the sky. P.S. Ask for a reward, reward one person plus one update, and there is no cap. A reward of 1,000 book coins plus 2 more. You are a genius, remember in a second.